He's going to recover, but it'll be almost so bad.
Hi guys, so it's just time is it now?
9.
It's 9:10 and we just finished the second scan. We did an X-ray and a CT scan. They were worried that I'd broken 2 ribs, and when the doctor listened to my chest, she said something doesn't sound right in my chest. So they sent me for a CT, and it looks like everything's okay. And she thinks I've just suffering from a bruised lung and swelling, which is causing shooting pains up and down my ribs. So to be honest, I feel really lucky that I haven't broken a rib, because otherwise it would have been a long time to fix. Emma's just with me, thankfully. Yeah, awful day. Feel devastated about what happened. I come across and made some contact, and as soon as the contact was made, it put my rear out of control, and I tried to get out of it, but I was just trapped, and it just kept pushing and pushing from behind until I hit the barrier, came back into the track, and then I was just sitting there in the middle. So obviously got collected. I think the cars are doing well over 100 miles an hour at that point, so it was a big hit. So yeah, pretty the car's a mess, so which is a big worry. So we need to figure out a way of trying to get that fixed for the next one. So hopefully we're better for Croft in 2 weeks. But yeah, thanks to everyone out there who sent me a message. There's a lot of messages, so thank you. So race 2 was better, the car was better. Started 7th and just dropped to 8th at the last minute. Jake Hill with the BMW got past me at the end, but like I said, we had an issue with the brakes, with the brake pads. Getting it stopped, we changed them. It was definitely better for the second race, which is really frustrating because that's really changed the dynamic of the day. Like if we just kept the same pads as yesterday, then we would have been well away in race 1 and on the podium. But there we go. We're starting 5th for the 3rd race, so some really solid points again. It's actually just started to rain. It started spitting. So we'll see. We're 5th, so we'll get stuck in.
He's going to recover, but it'll be almost so bad.
Morning everyone. Pretty morning today. Pretty bad end to what was a good race weekend. Before I start talking, I just want to say, you know, there have been much worse accidents, and obviously I'm all right, so quite lucky. I'm not doing this for any sympathy or whatever. There's been a lot worse crashes out there, and I'm fine, so it's all good. But I've obviously done the vlog stuff for a reason, and to give you guys an insight to what happened. So I just thought I'd talk about what happened last night, and like what I'm going through and stuff, and what we're gonna sort out before hopefully next round. But firstly, really incident that happened, really small bit of contact where I come across and my rear bumper touched Collard's front bumper, and as soon as it was touching, I tried to pull out of it, but the rear was already turning round and I was steering out of it, but my front was heading towards the barrier, so I just couldn't obviously hit the barrier to start with, move back out, and I was just sat in the middle of a track, and the hit was really hard. Toka said it was a 43G impact, which is pretty heavy. And then I got hit for the 3rd time, just unluckily, someone trying to avoid the incident. So, yeah, pretty But then I went to the medical guys at Circuit were mega. They got me to the centre, and was all right to start with, but then I started having panic attacks and I was struggling. I had shooting pains through my ribs and struggling to get my breath. So they wanted to send me to hospital to get me checked. They thought I cracked a couple of ribs. Got to hospital. They sent me for an X-ray. The doctors, they could hear something wrong with my chest and lungs, and they didn't think something was right. So when they saw the X-ray results, they were shocked and surprised that it looked okay. So then they sent me for a CT scan, and then that looked okay as well eventually. So they were shocked and they said I was lucky, which is obviously great. So they put it down to bruised ribs, bruised lung, and obviously when I take a breath it inflames and then get the shooting pain. So that was alright. Luckily got to come home last night, got home about midnight, and then got some sleep, and this morning obviously absolutely killing, but I'm just trying to crack on this morning and try and stay mentally strong. Obviously I've got a lot of stuff to sort out as well. You know, it'd be nice just to sit here and rest, which is the main thing, that I'm all right, obviously. But at the same time, you know, I've got my career, I've got the season. I need to be out, you know. So I've got stuff to sort. I was struggling a little bit with budget anyway. I was making a big push, but this kind of like, yeah, it's not a good situation. You know, we're still trying to figure out what damage is done to the car and the shell. We'll know a lot more tomorrow morning. But you know, it's probably minimum 60 grand's worth of damage, which is well over my season's crash budget. So I've got to try and sort something out with that. So I'm working on that. I've already got some meetings set up tomorrow morning to discuss some ideas, and then I've got a physio session this afternoon at 3 with my physio Nick, who works with some trauma stuff, and with my lungs he mentioned on the phone like just nasal breathing to keep my lungs moving so they don't seize up, stuff like that. So yeah, get as much information as I can. Croft is it's less than 2 weeks away, so I need to recover as quick as I can. So I need to be out on the grid, and that's my main concern and main worry at the moment, is getting out. So yeah, try to keep you up to date. Massive thank you for all the messages and support. I've had a massive amount of support from the other drivers on the grid, you know, even guys who I don't really speak to on a personal level and stuff, messages, which has been great. Don't really expect it for people you compete against, so in a tough way, but everyone's been mega. And then obviously all the fans and team owners and the people in the pit lane and stuff had like thousands of messages, so it's massively appreciated. I need to get my shit together, and I'm sure everything will be okay. But yeah, thanks again for all the messages, and I'll keep you up to date with what's going on. Hi guys, just come up to the physio now. Just come to see Nick. Nick's been looking after me for the past month or two with my back. As you know, I've got a bad back, and he's been working wonders with that. So booked this appointment to try and see what we can do. Obviously we've only got 10 days, 11 days until we're going to be in the car at Croft next weekend, so I've got some recovery to do, and Nick's gonna give me some advice on what we're thinking.
Yeah, so obviously we've had a little bit of trauma to the rib cage, cleared the fractures, which is great, but struggling to move, especially into a little bit of forward flexion, extension. So we're going to take a look at how the rib cage is moving, muscles in and around there, so the obliques, the intercostals, maybe a little bit of lat, and see how that's firing through the arms. But the main thing is probably the diaphragm. The diaphragm controls how we breathe. That's what causes the rib cage to move. So if we can get him in a relaxed state and get him breathing better, get his rib cage starting to flare slightly, we'll start to get some good symptom relief and start us on that road to recovery. And try to get us back in that car, get you back in that seat, and make sure we're on the right track.
About the breathing through my nose more to get the lungs moving.
Yeah, so when we nasal breathe, we actually use the diaphragm effectively. So we inhale through the nose, diaphragm pulls down, we'll fill the lungs, rib cage will start to flare out. Then when we exhale, it'll do the opposite, so we can get a nice stretch of the diaphragm rib cage will start to mobilise a little bit better. If you chest breathe, which is normally when we're in a stressed state, so fight or flight, you only use your upper rib cage, so we won't actually use the diaphragm and the rib cage effectively. We can get you to settle down into a rest and digest state. It'll also desensitise a lot of your pain symptoms, which we've been doing with your back. Add in a few very slight, simple movements, and we can start to overcome a lot of the symptoms that you're displaying with now.
Yeah. What Nick said. So yeah, we'll do what we can, and at the moment I'm just taking so much codeine, so girlfriend's just come and drop me off because I cannot drive at the moment. So yeah, we'll work on these bits and hopefully it helps and gets me in the car next weekend.
So let your head back for me. Are we feeling that a lot through here?
Yeah, through the right.
Okay, look over your right shoulder. Still through the right.
Yeah.
Just go chin to chest for me. And again. Good.
So we've finished this session. Basically I've been given breathing exercises as well as standing exercise as well. Obviously with my back issues, if I'm not going to be moving as much, what I don't want is for my back to flare up as well. So the standing exercises Nick has given me are all going to be little bits that are going to really add up. Fingers crossed I'll be okay for next week, but it's like, how long is a piece of string? You know, you never know, do you? So if we can do everything we possibly can and work together, we're going to book in next week as well.
Yeah, get a few different strategies in place to help you out and make sure we get you back in the car.
And Nick was actually coming to watch me at Croft anyway. So
that'd be quite handy then.
Yeah, that was good timing. So yeah, might be able to help me there. But yeah, fingers crossed, and big thanks to Nick because he's helped me massively with my back in the last couple of months. So hopefully he can help me with this. So back from the physio, pretty clear with what I've got to do now. That's it for now. I've got a meeting in the morning with the team to try sort out the financial situation and see what we can do. Pushing massively on that. We're gonna need some help, and then obviously look after myself, and I'll keep you up to date, and fingers crossed we can do another vlog next weekend and I'll be out in the car racing and everything will be alright. So yeah, keep you up to date, and thanks guys.
Okay.
You got it?
Yeah.
You got it?
Yeah.
Emma, say cheese. This is going to be a fun 2 weeks.
I can't do it.
Go on.